I'm Tessa Smith with Mama's Geeky. Thank you so much for taking the time today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. One of my favorite takeaways from this is that everyone needs a friend like Otis, I think. So, what do you think it is about Otis that makes him such a good friend?
He's understanding, he's patient, he's loyal, and he is forgiving. He's just the friend that everybody should have. It
Absolutely.
was a real pleasure getting to be his voice.
Did you get to improvise a lot with him?
You know what? The script was so good that I don't remember doing a lot of improv. Jared and Lynn, the directors, at times would have you try different stuff. They would have a lot of alts, and certainly they would let you, if you had an idea, they would let you take a crack at improvising. But the script was just in such good shape. Jared and his wife Jerusha wrote it, and they have such unique brains and writing styles. The tone of this is just as delightful and accessible yet bonkers, is the best way to put it.
That's a great way to describe this movie.
Yeah.
Accessible, but that should be the tagline. I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so many fun characters in this that just are just amazing to look at. That Vic Diamond character really gets me, and all the pool boys, and obviously, you know, you fall in love with Thelma.
Yeah, of course. Well, what was it about this movie that really made you want to be a part of it?
Oh, it was very simple. When Jared reaches out about anything, I always know it's going to be something that I'm going to love. So he sent me the script, said that he and his wife had written it, sent it to me, and I raced through it and loved it, and it was just the easiest decision of all time.
I love that. And one of my favorite things about Otis is his Dungeons and Wagons game. I think it's so great. Uh, but do you play any tabletop games?
Let's see. It's been a long time since I have. The most recent board game that I've had, which doesn't even have a board, is Code Names.
Oh, okay.
Do you know that one?
I don't, but I will look into it.
Yeah, it's really fun. I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of what other. I mean, I grew up playing all the classics, Monopoly and Life, and um, we did just get. Do you remember Mastermind?
Yes. Yep.
Yes, where you have to figure out the pegs. We just got a version of that. So does that count as a
I
board
think
game? I think,
sure, why not? I play that with my kids all the time, and I think it's really good for your like brain, you know?
yeah, yes.
Yeah. One of my favorite themes of this movie is, learning to be comfortable with yourself and be yourself, and you're perfect the way you are, which I think is
Yeah.
important for kids, but also for adults. So,
Well,
what do you think it is the importance of, putting that message out there?
well, I think that message, which has always been a valuable message, it is so relevant in these times with social media, and people are trying to portray this image that they're not. It's like you don't need to do that stuff. There's a special person inside everyone that you can access without trying so hard.
Yeah, absolutely. There's that line at the beginning when she, after she gets turns into a unicorn and she's like deletes her Instagram. I was like, "What are you doing? Don't do
Oh,
that."
I know.
She's like, "It's like I never existed." I'm like, "Oh no, that's not
I
a
know.
message we should teach people."
I know.
And then it comes back around. So I was like, "Good, yes, perfect
Yeah.
message." But I had so much fun with this movie, and thank you so much for taking the time. I've got to tell you, it's
Thank you.
just an honor to speak with you. I think you're incredible. And Last
Oh,
Man on Earth is like one of my favorite shows ever. So thank you for taking the
thank you
time.
very much. I appreciate it.
I'm Tessa with Mama's Geeky. Thank you guys for taking the time today.
How's it going? Good to see ya.
Yes, one of my favorite things about this movie is the music. I think it's absolutely incredible. So I'd love to talk to you guys about just the process working with Brett and the other writers, just about all the songs.
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, the Thelma character, we had to show early on in the film what her original voice was, and we really wanted it to feel like it was something that Brittany Howard had come up with, that was in line with her style of music. And so we spent a lot of time kind of cracking what that was and what the unique sound for her was. And Tora Stinson, amazing songwriter, producer, helped us out a ton and collaborated with Brittany, as well as Brett McKenzie from Flight of the Conchords. He also won an Oscar for the Muppet movie. And so really working with them, I mean, we came up with, I guess the sound of the film. And we had an amazing music supervisor, Morgan Rhodes, who helped us a lot too. But it was so much fun diving into all these different genres. Each character almost has their own soundtrack and style of music that supports them throughout the film, whether it's Vic Diamond or Nikki Narwhal or Peggy Purvis or Thelma. Everybody kind of has their own sound.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think we worked with such professionals. They dove in and was hitting the ground running and really understood the characters. So I think that helped us a lot, just making sure that the characters, whatever they were singing and making sure it was in the style, but it was really showcasing like where they were mentally in the film.
Absolutely. And I love Flight of the Conchords, so I can only imagine what it was like having Brett and Jermaine together. What was it like seeing them work together?
It was so much fun. It's funny, I don't think that they had recorded a song together in a long time. I mean, the pandemic happened. We started this movie during the pandemic. And so when they got together to record, Vic Diamond's 3 C's of Success, it was a bit of a reunion for those two because they'd been busy working on different projects, and so it was fun to get the old band back together.
And we got to witness that special
reunion.
It
was so much fun watching them, work things out, as they recorded it. But yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, I love that. One of my favorite things about this movie too is the message, because like I have 2 daughters, so the message of being yourself, especially in this age of social media. Can you guys talk about the importance of putting that message out there?
Yeah, I think for me, when I first read the script, it was something that really stuck out for me because it was something that I really related to, as a kid and also as an adult. I think it's a really, really relatable theme that I think it's global. Anyone of any age can relate to. So I think it's really important, especially in this time of social media, when social media is telling you how to look, how to dress, how to like what you should buy, how you should feel, all of this stuff. I think it's easy to lose yourself. So I think it's really important in this day and age.
Yeah, absolutely. You have anything to add, Jared?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's something, I've got kids, and so the messaging of, the book and the film, Thelma goes on this journey of self-acceptance and discovery, and it's like you don't have to change who you are in order to be loved and achieve your dreams, and I think that's such a critical message.
Yeah. And you have to listen to yourself. It's been inside you the whole time.
Yeah, totally.
Yep. Absolutely. That's why I think Otis is such a good friend. I feel like he knew from the beginning, like.
Yeah, surround yourself with good people. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Absolutely. You always need someone in your corner, I say, no matter your age too. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Exactly.
I'd love to know what it was about Brittany that made her such the perfect Thelma, because I think she's so good in this.
Yeah, I mean, we're huge fans of Brittany, all of her work, just incredible. Her voice is larger than life. Her personality is larger than life. And, strangely enough, like when we found out that she's shared a lot of, the same exact experiences that Thelma goes through in the film. Like Brittany grew up on a small farm. She even hauled manure for a job. And but she had dreams of becoming this music star, but a lot of people had told her, when she was in her teens, like, you know what, you don't seem like you have the right look or vibe for a lead singer, which is just totally insane. But she really connected with Thelma on an emotional level just because of her own, growing up experiences in Alabama. And that just kind of blew us away. And she really brought all of that to the character.
Yeah, she was ready to embody Thelma. I think she brought so much of herself. And, we took a lot of Brittany just in her look and her personality, and really infused that into Thelma as well. So I think it really helped make Thelma into a very well-rounded, relatable character.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate it. It was
Yeah.
great to talk to you again.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Good to see you.
Yes. I'm Tessa Smith with Mama's Geeky. Thank you so much, Brittany, for taking the time.
Hi, Tessa. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
I loved this movie and I love you as Thelma. I've got to know what it was that made you want to do this because this is your first role.
That's right.
Yeah.
What made me want to do it was, Jared came up to me at one of my shows and he said, I had this character with you in mind. I really would like if you would do it. And he passed me the book. And after the show, I read the book and I found myself crying. I read the book and I was so moved by it. And it was because of that emotion I felt that I just knew I needed to take part in this project. Even if I didn't know what I was doing, there's a first time for everything and I'm just so glad I did it.
Yeah, I mean, you're so great. Is there any ways that you personally relate to Thelma?
Oh, for sure. Like, especially when I was younger. Like, Thelma's from a small town, I'm from a small town. And we both had dreams of seeing the world and of letting the world hear our music. And we just didn't know how we were going to get there. And I definitely relate on that. And then hilarity ensued, just like my real story.
I love that so much. Now, I have two daughters, so one of my favorite things about this movie really is the message of being yourself in the end. You know what I mean? And not putting on a show for other people. And so can you kind of talk about the importance of that?
Oh, it's so important. From a very young age, especially women, we're taught that there's a certain way to look and a certain way to act. And if you get out of line, then something's wrong with you, And that's just so harmful. And also, you only live so long, so you're going to spend the meat of your life not being yourself and being this person that someone else expects you to be. And then you're old, and no one looks at you anyway. You know what I'm saying? So that's not true, y'all. Don't get mad at me. What I'm saying is, what's it worth?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So there's that one line towards the beginning where Thelma, she instantly deletes her Instagram and she's like, it's like it never existed, And I'm like, oh no, Thelma, we love you how you were,
Yeah, that part's so heartbreaking, but we all do know that part, especially when we were younger, that part of us that wanted to be anyone else.
Absolutely. It's easily relatable for a lot of people, but with a great message in the end. But I love the music in this too. We've got to talk about it. These songs are phenomenal. Can you just talk about recording them, and do you have a favorite?
Oh yeah, I had such a great time doing this music. A lot of it's kind of a new style that I'm not really used to doing. So I enjoyed the challenge of figuring out how to get my voice to do certain things. A favorite of mine is Fire Inside. I love that song. Yeah. It's so catchy. So I'm excited for everybody to hear all the songs.
What was the one that was the hardest for you? What was the biggest challenge, you think, song-wise?
I think Big was a pretty hard song for me. It was just because I had to move my mouth so fast. And I'm a slow talker, I'm kind of a slow singer, and doing that was like a new challenge, but then the next thing you know, I'm doing a song where I'm rapping. So I really figured it out and I got it together in time,
I love it. What was it like stepping into the booth for the first time to do the voice acting?
Oh, I was nervous. I was definitely nervous. But with Jared and Lynn's help, they really guided me through it. I have to be honest, I'm so glad it was this crew at this time. Because they would just tell me, be yourself, just be yourself. How would you say it? How would you do this? And in the end, it turned out to be just really, really fun days,
Oh, I love it. And I love the tone of this movie because it's so like bonkers and it's funny and like all the characters are bananas. I feel like, you know what I mean? It's like every person you meet has like their own quirks. So can you just talk about like maybe when you were first reading the script to finding these characters?
Oh yeah, I was laughing most of the days. Like when I would go in there and work, it was for many hours at a time. And I'm reading through the script and I'm just laughing because, they would change it up and make it fresh. And every time I go in, something might change. And I was having a ball getting to know the script. And then finally seeing the movie come out, I was like, oh man, it's even funnier when you actually see the characters.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you so much and congratulations. I love this movie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.